What's going on, guys? It's Jordan back today with another video. And in today's video, cryptocurrency is absolutely blasting off today. And we're going to take a look at what Chainlink is doing, in particular on the long term, the medium term, and the short term time frames. We're also going to take a look at Bitcoin at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end to see absolutely power moves for Bitcoin. Now let's jump right on in to the video. As we jump right on in to the little miniature kind of chart for Chainlink on the 4-hour time frame, I'm going to start with something bearish, a little bit different today, guys. You guys are looking at all these probably YouTubers making, we're going to 20K for Bitcoin, we're going to $100 for Chainlink, but I'm going to start something a little bit bearish, just on the short term time frame, guys. Now, keep in mind, I am very bullish on the long term, but on the short term time frame, if we're getting rejected here, and we just got a major sell-off wick here, as you guys can see. So we're kind of forming on the 4-hour this head and shoulders pattern, right? Which could lead us down to retesting, in my opinion, probably this mark here if we were to go lower, about the $10.90 mark. Now, you guys might not think that's a crazy, sell-off, but when everyone's so bullish, a dollar sell-off is going to make everyone, extremely bearish. You guys know how quickly the market sentiment changes in the cryptocurrency space. A $1 sell-off for Chainlink, which is literally like a 5 or 6% move, is going to make everyone go crazy. So keep in mind that we are forming this bearish pattern here. It doesn't mean we're going to go down, but it usually means we could see a slight, short-term sell-off. I'll give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. A couple over here. As you guys can see, we formed a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern here, which made us, have a good amount sell-off. We had a couple on the daily chart, but we had a little bit of one here sell off, right? So you guys can see these head and shoulders typically tend to sell off. Now, these two definitely look better on the daily chart, but you can also look at them on the 4-hour. This one looks a little odd, but you guys get the point. When we usually top out at a little bit of when we're going up and making a little bit of an upwards correction, we tend to see these head and shoulders patterns kind of mark the top and kind of push us lower. So that's kind of my example here. There's actually another example here where we got this head and shoulders and it made us come back down, but we instantly popped right back up. Now, I don't think we're going to have some major crazy sell-off. I just think that a retest of this mark here, which also was our support back here, and our support here would make a lot of sense. Maybe we come back down, retest that, and then we actually bounce up again, just like we did here, right? Just like we did here. These major sell-offs are very normal. We've done it twice on this move up already, guys. So keep that in mind on the 4-hour time frame. We're going to switch on over to the medium-term time frame. Enough of this little itty-bitty time frame crap. We're going to move on over to the daily chart here. And on the daily chart, we have a couple things going on, right? So we broke this supply line here where we had 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance, 4 resistance before getting a massive pump out of that, right? So you guys can see we broke that, and I think it's possible, just like I said, guys, that we come back down and retest this support line before moving back up again. We're also in this kind of, you can kind of draw it as a rising channel. You can also draw it as a rising wedge. You can draw it either way. I like to draw it. It's more of a wedge. It's kind of converging, but it's not. It's going to converge in like 2021, so it's not really. It's more of a channel. The more I think about it, but on the daily chart, this looks a little bit more just like a healthy. This move that we had today is really nothing on the daily chart, as you guys can see here. On the 4-hour, it looks like we got a massive pump, but on the daily, not so much, right? It's pretty much noise. I like how we came back down and retested this area on the daily. If I switch this to purple, you guys can see it a little better here. We retested that on the daily, just like what we did down here, where we came back down and retested this on the daily, right? Where we had resistance here. And we also had resistance here. So we're kind of just stair-stepping up, right? We stair-step back down, stair-step back down. Now I think we're going to get we could sell back down to here to retest again, but we could actually pop up on the daily time frame. Now on the 4-hour, a little bit lower price action is what I expect. Bitcoin's hitting that 14K mark. We're going to go over that later on in the video, but Bitcoin is hitting it's probably its most important resistance until all-time high probably its last resistance to all-time high, to be quite frankly with you guys. So, these alts, they could sell off a little bit harder than Bitcoin actually does. So that's kind of the medium-term time frame. Just these couple little things here, us breaking the supply line, which is big on the daily, but also we're stuck kind of in this wedge where we could bounce a little bit back up, get a little bit of dead cat bounce off the support, but maybe come back down and retest this again at about that 10.99 mark. Kind of max up a little bit what we did with that 4-hour chart. So we're gonna switch on, guys, over into the meat and potatoes, guys. The meat and potatoes of the video, and that is the long-term chart of today's altcoin, and that is the Chainlink long-term chart, which is the meat and potatoes. So as you guys can see here, I have this horizontal line drawn, I think is the most important line when you're looking at Chainlink in the long term. I think it's the only line you can really look at Chainlink, because since Chainlink's inception back in late 2017, which isn't that long, it's pretty much been on a parabolic run up, right? It's went from literally 14 cents all the way to $20 in literally 3 years. So congrats to everyone invested down here, but we're going to take a look at this line for right now. So as you guys can see, if I switch back on over to my brush tool here, we got our 2 all-time highs at this line, right? And then if we extend this out, we actually got a rejection at this line as well here before pumping up. Now, I don't think that's a coincidence. I think, we got a little bit over exuberant for Chainlink, what happens here. But what we did here, you guys can see, is very, very interesting. For Chainlink on the weekly chart, we actually came back down and retested this as support and held it as support 3 different weeks, right? We got 3 different wicks down, and for 3 weeks straight, we held this line. Now we came back down and tested it again, held it again, and now we're getting kind of a rounded bottom, which I think is very, very bullish here, right? We're getting lower highs, higher lows, right? Higher low here, higher low here, higher low here. We're literally just rounding out, and I think it's very bullish. And I think in the long term, this is going to make us do higher price action, right? As long as we hold this as support, I'm extremely bullish long term. Now, if we break this back down, I think we could be kind of a long consolidation period, like we've had, a couple of times. We had a long consolidation period here, long consolidation period here. Now, we broke the all-time high again. As long as we hold this, I think we're going to keep going parabolic, assuming that Bitcoin keeps going up on the long term. If Bitcoin, tends to fail with the elections and what's going on in the world around us right now, the actually craziness the world is in, right? I don't like to talk about it because I like kind of these videos to be an escape for you guys and kind of get you guys excited for the future of cryptocurrency. But in the reality, that's what's going on. So as long as, the cryptocurrency market keeps going up as a whole, we're going to see Chainlink keep being parabolic as well. But we've had 2 consolidations after breaking all-time highs. This could be just a dead cat bounce. You see, we sold off, we got a dead cat bounce, dipped, right? We sold off, had a dead cat bounce, dipped, right? So we're not out of the woods yet. This could just be our dead cat bounce before dipping back down. So don't get too excited right yet. Watch what Bitcoin's doing carefully, because that's ultimately what's going to lead Chainlink up as well. So now, guys, we're going to jump on and transition over into Bitcoin, and we're going to look at the 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. So you guys can see we had a massive breakout from Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We're in this, you guys can call it a bear flag, but we actually broke up from the flag, which is pretty crazy, right? This thing was waving. This one was up in the wind, waving high, 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 and we just broke out of it. So you guys can see we've had 3 closes above it now, so this confirms the breakout. We also had some increase in volume here, which confirms the breakout as well. But we're coming up on that 13,800 resistance, which was, our wick up on the last little dead cat bounce bull market we had back in last year, right? That was already last year, guys. That's actually crazy. I remember that time being so pumped, and that was only a year ago, and it feels like literally like not that long ago. So I think that's pretty crazy. Just had to make a quick point there, but we're hitting, this chart doesn't show us wicking, but we wicked up to this already, this 13.8 mark, and we're getting rejected at it now. As of me making this video, we're about 13,680. I think us coming back down to retest this top of this line is very possible. And I think, on the short term, that's probably what we're going to do. Maybe drop back down to this line, consolidate above it, before even going higher again or, dropping back down and retesting. This is support, which is the 12,500 to 12,000 range, which was our support, which is our old resistance back here, and retesting is support. Two things that could happen in the short-term time frame. So we're going to switch it over to the long-term chart of Bitcoin here, and this is a big thing I want to talk about. So this is the monthly chart. So this is even longer than what we normally look at. We normally look at the weekly chart. So I just want to show you guys that if our monthly close is literally in 3 days, right? It's actually it's in 4 days. I can't count sometimes, guys. Just bear with me. Bear with me. I know what I'm talking about with this stuff. Even though I can't count, just still bear with me. So this is going to be our third highest. Actually, our if I can talk here, this is going to be our second highest monthly close on this chart, right? On the monthly chart, which is extremely bullish. We had a close here, which was a little bit higher, and that is literally only at, if I can make a line for you here, guys, that's literally only at about 14,200, right? And we're literally only less than $500 away from that price target and closing our monthly close, the highest Bitcoin has ever been, right? Now, who would have thought back in March, 7 months ago, that we would be almost touching $14,000? This is why the non-believers are crazy, right? Everyone down here, Bitcoin's dead, Bitcoin's going to zero. Now we're almost at 15K and almost having the highest monthly close that Bitcoin has ever had in its history, right? It's literally like 10-year history. This is going to be the highest monthly close if we can get above that, right? Now, I'm not 100% confident that we're going to close above that. You can't count Bitcoin out because this is absolutely crazy monthly candle. We went from about 10,800 to all the way up 13,600. It's almost a $2,000 candle. So, I mean, we can't count Bitcoin out now. We definitely could close above it, but I think we're due for maybe a little bit of a pullback on the monthly chart. Like I said, maybe about to that 12,200 area, right? Before we actually bump back up and then we go up and retest all-time highs again. I think the next, until the next year, right, the next 2 months are going to be crazy volatile. We could be like, I'll give you guys an example. We could literally just be like coming back down to retest 12,000, pumping up to all-time high, coming back down to retest 14,000, maybe flagging out here for a while, and then absolutely pumping up, right? Obviously, it's not going to take that long. It's not going to be this crazy, but you guys get the point. Like, we could be so volatile in the next 2 months that it's going to blow all our minds, right? So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Kind of a longer video than what I normally do today. I kind of blabbled about Bitcoin a lot, but I'm just so excited after today's price action because we're so close to that all-time high monthly close mark, which is so bullish for Bitcoin. So let me know what altcoin you guys want me to talk about in tomorrow's video in that comment section below. I don't see it yet. Make sure it's there. Make sure it's there, guys. I will be looking at them. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.